today is your birthday.
Today is my birthday, yeah. Ayul Bowan, main news first. Satyaye Satahana, Budie Vimasumata.
Thank you for joining us, Lior. It's really a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. As you can see, the entire newsroom is very interested and really excited to see what you've got up your sleeves. Lior, you rose to fame through your supernatural abilities, your powers to read minds. And I remember when I saw one of your interviews, you said, I don't like to call it a power and it's an ability.
Yes.
And mind reading really is when someone says, okay, there's this guy who can read minds. The first thing that comes into a normal person's mind is, okay, I think that guy must be insane.
Well, I was told that quite a few times that I'm insane. I'm not insane, by the way. And reading minds, it's not what people seems to think. It's not that I can hear people's thoughts. It has to be a connection. It has to be a specific, rapport, connection between two people or 1,000 people to do those tests. And I don't just read minds. Sometimes I influence minds. Sometimes I can suggest thoughts into people. Sometimes I can get some small stuff, and I have a very sensitive intuition. So I use all those elements to create the things that I do.
So when did you really realize that you had this ability? Is this like an inborn ability that you have? How do you really find out about it?
I always tell this line. I always say that everybody can learn to play a piano, right? But not everybody will be Beethoven. So you can learn a little bit of body language reading and non-verbal communication and a little bit of those techniques that I use, but you might not be able to do those crazy stunts. I will give you an example. Okay, we have all the witnesses here, so I'm going to just ask some people questions here. Let's talk about drawing. Do you know how to draw?
Yes, I do.
Good.
I'm not a good artist.
Me too. So it's okay. But I'm going to ask a question. If I would ask you to draw something, what would you do?
Sunset.
Sunset, and what would you do?
Nature.
A what?
Nature.
Okay, and what would you do? Any drawing, what would you do?
A cat.
Doesn't matter. What?
A cat.
A cat. What would you do?
Elephant.
Elephant. What would you do?
Dog.
So everybody can do anything they want. Now comes the interesting part, because I'm not going to try to read your mind. I'm going to try to read your mind before you think of it. You have a drawing also?
Yeah.
And does anybody knows it here?
No, nobody knows it.
Nobody knows it? And you did not set it up with me? You did not tell me anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Nothing.
So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, and I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. Keep your eyes closed while I'm talking to you. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just looking at you right now and trying to feel a little bit of intuition. I'm not a good artist also, but I'm going to do my best. Keep your eyes closed. Now, you can answer this question. Nobody knows what is this drawing, right? Nobody knows it.
No.
I'm just going to try with my intuition. It's something that you connected to, right?
Yeah,
something
definitely.
that you connected to. And by the way, this test is not about being a copy machine. It's about getting the, can you see it over there? Yeah. It's about getting the basic idea of what's inside someone's head, and just don't change your mind. Keep your mind on the thing that you're thinking of. And I think I am just going to add something here. Okay, I'm just going to show it to everybody. Did you see it? Okay, okay. Keep your eyes closed. I think I'm okay. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. So how do you feel?
I feel good.
Okay. Can you?
No difference.
Just hold this. No difference. Take this and this. Don't do anything yet. Now the interesting is that usually I would let you draw a drawing, and then try to guess it, right? Now I did the opposite. I already did mine, and you don't know what it is.
Okay.
You don't know. So just look at me in my eyes, just like this. And when I say now, I want you to do it here so everybody can see. Okay? So you can do it freely. 1 second. Now, please do it. That's what I did. That's pretty incredible, right? Look at this. Look how similar. Look how similar this is. This is very, very similar. There's no doubt it's the same thing. What made you think of like an island and this and the?
Well, because this drawing, it's very popular to me. This is the best thing I can draw.
Oh, good.
That's the best thing I can draw.
Well, you did better than I did, but that's okay. This is interesting. So this is what was a nice example of how you can read and influence people's minds. By the way, you didn't notice, but I was influencing you to put the moon over there a little bit.
I know. I hesitated there, but really, Leo, I mean, these type of tricks, or I don't know what you call
it.
Experiments. People might actually, how would you try to reaffirm, their faith in you? Because sometimes they might think it's camera tricks. Sometimes they might think, okay, you discussed this before. But so, how do you really?
Yeah. So first of all, 2 things. First of all, did you tell me the drawing before?
No, I didn't.
So this is the first thing. We have credibility of you that it's fair. Second of all, I never try to make a skeptic become a believer. It's not what I do. I don't preach. Believe in me. I'm doing this for fun, for entertainment, for people to start to think positive and think outside the box and experience new things that I can provide. If someone comes to me, yesterday I had a big show here, and somebody went to me after the show and says, Lior, this is incredible, but I still don't believe completely. I said, okay, did you enjoy the show? He said, oh my God, the show was unbelievable. I said, that's it. That's what I want. So I don't try to make people believe. They can believe, don't believe.
But how do you explain this ability of yours? Is it scientific? Is it mystic?
It's definitely not scientific. It's not mystic. It's a mix of different techniques together. When I read someone's mind, basically, I don't hear minds. I have a very sensitive intuition about a lot of stuff. I can ask you a question. When I ask you a question, I trigger points in your brain that lets you transmit the answers. When we think, we transmit. Everybody, when you think, you transmit. Only a few people have a receiver. That's the interesting thing. And my job is to try to get those small elements and small, tiny movements and get everything together. So I'm taking everything from psychology and body language reading and neuro-linguistic programming and influencing and hypnotics and a lot of elements together, and also chi, energy, which I'll show you in a few minutes. A lot of things together that will combine everything.
And your ability is not just, amusing people with, whatever you're doing. It's not just your supernatural entertainment.
Also frightening people.
Yes, that too. But you've also, authored several books, and I've got some of the books that you've written here. And you're actually very sought out after, by the business community. They bring you down for a lot of workshops to kind of encourage employees. What does this book really, tell people about you?
It started with something. First of all, a lot of companies hired me not to do just a pure entertainment show. Although I always do entertainment, it's always very, very important. Companies invited me to do a show, but through the show, promote a product or emphasize messages, key messages of products of the company. That's why when a client invited me to perform for his company, the show will be based on the products on the company, so the clients remember the products. That's basically the idea. I always try to interlace with the performance some messages of positive thinking and believing in yourself. And that's why That's why I wrote this book because I was flying too much. I found myself flying in 50 countries in the world, so I had a lot of free time in the airplanes. So I started to write my notes and my ideas about how to think creatively, how to think outside the box, how to approach challenges, how to be happy, how to believe in yourself. And I wrote this book called Mind Reader, Unlocking the Power of Your Mind to Get What You Want. There are techniques here to influence people to say yes to you. It could be in a job interview. It can be one-on-one conversation. It can be for the boys who want girls' phone numbers. It can be all over. So I wrote it here in a very cool. It's a very cool book. It has a lot of tricks and a lot of interactive experiments that you can do. There's an experiment here that tells you how to see if someone is lying or not lying according to their look and their reactions. And it's a very, very cool book, and I got a good reaction from it. And we sold it. We sold the rights for 8 countries till now, and hopefully we'll have everyone read it.